I want to say up front that I am not a super obsessed Harry Potter fan. Just so you know, I've watched the films, I've been to the Universal Studios park, but I've never read the books or gotten heavily involved with the series. But the more I've resisted, the more it's tried to suck me in all the same, and it's starting to win. With the release of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, I find this whole need for wizards to hide around the world really interesting. What is the need to hide your power if you can make muggles forget? Or even kill them if you really had to? I mean, if the wizarding world became public, what could the no-mages really do about any of it? Regular Joes might get scared at first, but surely they'd see there was no real threat after a while, and couldn't the wizards just make a spell to make the human world accepting of wizardry? Think of all the benefits there could be to mankind if magic was widely used and available. Healthcare revolution alone would be phenomenal, not to mention strides in education, safety, and so forth. So why are all these witches and wizards so fearful and or stingy when there's no need to be so secretive? The best canon answer I can find comes from Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, when Harry flat out asks, "Why is magic hidden from the muggles?" And Hagrid responds with, "Why, blimey, Harry, everyone to be wanting magic solutions to their problems. Nah, we're best left alone." Okay, so this sounds like a half-baked, paper-thin excuse. Like, sorry you have cancer, Maggie, but we wizards have better things to do. Even though our world is based on gainful employment and we could make a good living helping out non-magical folk like yourself. But it's too much of a burden, so we've collectively decided that you should die and orphan your 6 children instead. So sorry. Who made these rules and why? There has to be a better reason behind it. Now, I looked up the source of magic, and again, the best answer I can find for this universe is that magic is a naturally occurring force. You can't decide that you'll be magical, and you can't, align your chakras to unlock powers. It's just in your DNA or it's not. Kind of like the luck of being an X-Men, you either have powers or you don't. Somehow, I feel like the two issues are connected, and the source of magic is also the reason the wizards need to hide it. So that means that magic has to have something like a detrimental effect on muggles, something that would either outrage or terrify people to learn about, something that would cause a lot of turmoil. Then it occurred to me, what if the wizard's powers are parasitic? You know how the Dementors feed off of human happiness? They literally need it to live and function. I mean, maybe they'd like to write poetry and picnic at the beach, but nature just cursed them to be these evil magical beings and they can't help that. Well, what if magic in general does something similar to muggles? And the closer you are to muggles, the more the magic takes something from them. Almost like an alchemy exchange because, magic always comes at a price, dearie. If magic is a natural force, then it has rules and laws and limitations too, just like the rest of nature. For example, gravity is also a natural force. If an apple breaks off of a tree, it's going to fall down to the ground. It's not going to hover up by the tree branch, it's not going to fly off into space. There are rules for how gravity works. But if you had the ability to tamper with gravity, you would either change or totally obliterate everything around you. So being able to use and manipulate a magical force that's just sitting there has to have consequences. And I'm sure that's why places like Hogwarts exist, so people don't just figure out magic and do the wrong thing or hurt somebody or themselves. Actually, let me touch back in on the Dementors, because I'm very surprised at how little information is available about them. Apparently, they grow in dark places similar to a fungus, but does that mean a real dark place or a metaphorical one? What if Dementors are born because a human feels overwhelming grief or sadness or depression? And what if those feelings are exacerbated in muggles when wizards use magic near them? This may be jumping off the rails here, I'm willing to admit that, but what if magic can be powered by happiness and positive beliefs so that when a wizard uses magic near a regular Joe, instead of tapping the invisible force that powers their wands, the muggles close by get their happiness zapped out of them and depleted, which allows issues like depression to rise up more easily and the creation of Dementors to happen more frequently. I would imagine that magic users have some natural immunity to this effect that goes along with the magical abilities in their DNA. So it could be that muggles act as a kind of reverse lightning rod where the magical forces sucks resources from regular people before tapping the invisible mana source. To me, an adverse effect on muggles is the only reason to hide magic from the regular world. I like speculating about it having a Dementor connection, but I'm sure some clever fans will come correct me soon if I'm wrong. Still, the real answer has to be locked down tight by the Ministry of Magic, or at least it will be until Rowling sees fit to write about it. I'm interested to hear what you all think about this. Maybe you guys can help me reach a more definitive conclusion. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed enough to like, subscribe, and share this video. I've also got a lot of other videos on my channel that you are fully encouraged to go check out. Plus, you can find me on Facebook at Say Halo Goodbye, which is my gamer tag, or Twitter at _Fanily.